All right, I got 15 minutes. All right, good morning. This is Sports for Real with Coach Hall. I'm kind of weary these days. I'm actually watching these NBA playoffs. This is not something I normally do. Generally, I wouldn't follow the NBA until after the All-Star break. So I've been consistent with that, but I've kind of been intrigued about this Western Conference bracket, and I wanted to see how things were going to unfold. I saw the other day when the Timberwolves blew out the Lakers, and I wanted to see how the Lakers would respond. But I wonder if NBA is really just another form of theater, because you can almost predict how these games are going to go. You know, the Lakers, they got embarrassed the other night. They give up all those three-pointers. So it was obvious that they had to pick up the effort. But at the same time, they're going to have some help from the other team. Now, in that first game, Nas Reed and Julius Randle, they were killing them from the three-point line, even to the point where they didn't necessarily need the 3 points from Anthony Edwards and DiVincenzo. Completely inverted. But I didn't see very much of Nas Reed last night. Why not? Was he hurt? Or was he mandated to sit out to give the Lakers a chance? I am not surprised that Minnesota blew out the Lakers that first game, but the thing about Minnesota is they aren't very consistent. When they get on, then they're very deadly, just like they were in the first game. But when they come out beating around the bush like they did last night, you wonder what you're going to get from this team. Kind of reminds you a lot about Memphis. And Memphis really is, I'm questioning whether Memphis should be in the playoffs at all. They got beat by 51 points in that first game, and they came out last night, fell immediately down by 15. So I'm thinking, here we go again. Well, if you got any kind of professional heart about yourself, you're going to stand up and fight. Well, the good news is we did see some fight last night from the Grizzlies. They got it down to single digits a couple of times, but the strength of OKC just pulled away every time. And it kind of leads to the idea that maybe they just might get swept. Now, the only thing that prevents me from saying that they won't get swept is that a lot of these NBA teams, they tend to play better at home than they do on the road. And that is the story with Indiana, who knocked off Milwaukee last night. But now they're going to have to go to Milwaukee. If they're able to do what they did at home against the Bucks, then they should be able to win that series. But I've seen this 1,000 times, and it leads to the fact that you might just think these things are scripted. But we'll see how that plays out. But the Memphis Grizzlies also play into the point I'm trying to make today. I told you guys yesterday about how my baseball season came to an end. They're having a rough season. I didn't have a pitching staff. We weren't consistent. We weren't hitting the ball at times when we needed to hit it. It's just a situation where we struggled all year long. But at the same time, we were getting slowly better as the year progressed, despite what it may look like on the outside. Well, in high school in Florida, you have to go through your districts. I know it's slightly different in other places, but you can lose all your games and still end up winning the state championship in baseball. You won't be able to lose a game because once the districts start, you lose, you're out. Now this year, the teams that come out of the district and make the state playoffs, they're now allowing them to play regional series. So the first round, normally when you would play one team and then 2 or 3 days later you play another team, it's not like that now. They're playing the best 2 out of 3. And if you get on a run, regardless of what your regular season record was, you can still win a state championship. Well, I had no illusions of winning the state championship, but I did have illusions of advancing through the district and hopefully a little more backstory to that. I use the DH because I got a young team and I try to keep the players involved. I put them in the DH and let them hit or stick them in the pitch run, just let them feel a part of the game so they won't be feeling left out. I've seen a lot of teams do that where they just play straight nine and everybody else sit on the bench with very little participation. I try not to do that. Well, the position that I used the DH for in this particular game was for a player and hit very well all year and run the bases well all year. Played pretty decent defense. But this person has been spotty with attendance because of work. No problem if you got a job. We could work with that. Well, the kid had missed the previous 2 or 3 games and came to this game, and it was somebody I can use for a defensive purpose. Well, I let that player play in the outfield, in the field, and I DH'd the position. Once the player found out that they were DHs, had a problem. And that attitude festered all throughout the game to the point where we get to the bottom of the 7th. All we need is 3 outs. And the kid has just had a meltdown. He don't want to go on the field. So we had to pretty much get him to get out there on the field because all we need is 3 outs. Mind you, we had a tough season. This is an opportunity to get a win to put us in position to keep advancing through the district tournament. Well, the kid, because he didn't hit, was so distraught that it was difficult for him to finish the game. I couldn't believe what I was seeing because in my day when we came up, it had nothing to do what? It had nothing to do with whether or not we did well during the game or not hit or whatever. If we had an opportunity to win the game, that's what we were trying to do. And now it's completely different. And the question is, how much has participation trophies destroyed the mind of our youth, our sports youth? If you don't know what I mean by participation trophies, when you play in a tournament or in a league and your team finished first, you get the championship trophy, or at worst, you get a runner-up trophy for second place. Well, somehow in the 90s that changed, where they started giving trophies to teams who getting the last team in the league getting trophies. And I'm trying to figure out, well, why are you giving trophies to the team that didn't win a game? What are you rewarding them for? Well, the idea is to make them feel like being a part of a sport and putting in the effort is enough to be rewarded for it. Well, when I look at the way this kid melted down during this game, it was clear to me that he only cared about hitting, being a part of the game in a hitting fashion. Doesn't matter if he got a hit or not, just coming to the plate to hit the ball. That is the problem that he had. And again, I'm incredulous because you have a chance to win a game, something you've been complaining about all year about why we hadn't won a game, very many games, and you get an opportunity to win a game, and now you don't want to finish the game because you didn't get a chance to hit during the game. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen, man. And it has to be traced back to participation trophies, where they give it to everybody just because you were a part of a team. Now, I mentioned the Memphis Grizzlies. They did well in the play-in tournament. They got beat by Golden State in the nip and tuck game. Then they beat Dallas to eliminate them to get the 8th spot. Then they lay an egg and get beat by 51 points. Then they come out last night in the first quarter. It looks like it's going to be a continuation of what we saw in that first game. To me, that's an effect of the participation thing because you didn't win the game. You feel like you got beat by 50 points, you probably can't beat this team. So what is the reason for me to come on out and play now? And you can see that the Grizzlies, they were just going through the motions, waiting to just get blown out again. And again, these guys are professional athletes making millions of dollars, and yet you're not putting the effort out. You're just going through the motions because you got beat by so many points the first game. Never mind, that's just one game. Whether you lost by 1 point or 1,000, it still counts for one loss. And I think that the Grizzlies, as the game went on, they started to realize, hey, we're still in this thing, and they started to play some basketball. So I still think it was an effect mindset that because they got beat so bad the first time, that what is the point of going out here? And to me, that is an effect of that participation trophy thing. So that is something that they really need to get rid of, because I can see it firsthand how it's affecting our modern athletes. So you tell me what you think about that, because I'm at a loss for it. Now, as far as next year, there's going to have to be some changes dealing with those type of players, because I don't see how you can effectively put together a winning outfit when you have mindsets like what I saw that particular night. But still proud of the guys. They fought, and the progress is evident. Play here to play there. And get a couple of pitches next year, and it's going to be a completely different story I see unfolding for my baseball existence. But I just thought I'd mention that. But as far as the NFL, again, NFL football takes precedence over basketball, because again, basketball is just something to do until football comes back around. They're going to have the draft on Thursday, and the talk is who's going to go in what position. Well, most people feel secure now that Tennessee said they're going to not trade their pick. They're probably going to pick up Cam Ward at the quarterback position, which is probably going to leave the second pick, who I believe is the Browns. They're going to probably pick up Travis Hunter. And the third pick is where the questions begin. Will the Giants pick Shedeur Sanders? Or will they surprise you and pick somebody else, like the Carter guy from Michigan? And you also have Jackson Dart out there. I personally believe that Jackson Dart is quietly moving up the board. Nobody's saying a whole lot because all of attention is on Shedeur. I think Dart, it's very possible that he can get drafted before Sanders. But never worry if you're Shedeur. He's going to be okay either way. It looks like he might end up playing with the Saints. Been a lot of talk that the Saints have a high interest in him. And if the Giants don't pick him up with that third pick, he won't survive past that ninth pick with the Saints. So it's just a matter of getting on the field and showing that, you know, the people were wrong about you. Maybe you should have went first. But Cam Ward, in my opinion, I would take him over all the other quarterbacks because of where he came from. He wasn't that five-star, and he didn't go to the top schools right away. He had to work to get to where he is, and everywhere he's gone, he's gotten better. And because of that, moving around and trying different environments and playing with different players, he has become a better player. And when he gets to the NFL, if he's allowed to play the same type of system, play in the same type of system he's in now, just like what you did with Jaden McDaniels, then you're going to see the same kind of production from Ward that you saw with the Commanders quarterback. And I'm looking forward to see just who goes where. Now, I won't sit there and watch it. I never see any excitement out of watching somebody else get drafted. You know, they realize their dreams, and that's all great, but I don't want to sit there and watch it, especially when those teams take every last second on the clock before they make a pick. And I can be doing something else. You just tell me what the results are, and we can talk about it from that point. So that's just the way I see that. But the playoffs in NBA should be some exciting series coming along. Right now in the West, you know, Denver and the Clippers, they're knotted at 1. The Lakers knotted the Timberwolves last night. Now you got Golden State playing game 2 against the Rockets. Can the Rockets get a victory against Golden State at home? If they don't, that number 2 seed is in great danger. I think they were in danger anyway when the brackets came out. Regardless of all the games you won in the regular season, that's completely different from playing in the series when you have to actually make adjustments and go out every night against that same team. It's just like a boxer. You get knocked out in the first fight, and you got to come back in the second and third fight and try to come up with a way not to get knocked out again. And mindful of the fact that guy that you just lost to, he knows where to hit you at to knock you out. So guess what? He's going to be gunning for it. Just like OKC was trying to knock Memphis out last night. To Memphis' credit, they did get their legs up under them, and they came back and fought. But game 3, that's the game that needs to be won by the Grizzlies. Otherwise, they're going to get swept. And same thing with Milwaukee. If they can't knock off the Pacers at home, they're going to get swept. And I'm telling you right now, if Golden State beats Houston tonight on the road, that number 2 seed Houston, they're going to get swept. So let's get all these pretenders out of the way. Let's get to this next round and go from there. I think you got 3 games on tonight. One game from I want to say Boston's playing, but I'm not sure. There's one game that was happening on Sunday that's not occurring tonight. So I don't know. I got to get brushed up on the schedule, but I do know there are 3 games tonight, so it should be some pretty good action. But I know Houston is definitely playing Golden State. But just to recap, little Johnny has done a number on the sports world, man. These kids with this mindset, they don't care about winning. All they care about is getting on the field and smiling and taking a photo op and getting up to the plate so they can go back and say, "Mom, look, I got in the game. I got some clay on my pants. See, I really do play." Well, did you win? No, that's not important, Ma. We played the game and we had fun and all this other stuff. And man, we don't want to hear that. Did you win the game or not? I never thought about that. Well, you better start thinking about it because that's what sports are all about. And eventually you're going to come across a team that don't care about you participating. They're going to be glad that you're participating against them because they're going to beat you by 100 points and they won't let up. And that's what you do to an inferior team that keeps presenting themselves like you are a team. You got to get rid of them and you got to destroy them. And that's what's going to end up happening to the psyche and morale of these athletes if all they think they're going to get out of this is participation. You better do the best you can and you better try to win. Otherwise, it's going to bounce back on you. But it's real, that participation effect. And I couldn't believe that a kid had 3 outs to win the game and you're going to sit there and pout because you didn't get a chance to hit. And put the lineup out there that gave us the best chance to win. It didn't work out in the end, but the reaction from the player was not warranted. And that's still greatly disappointing to me. So that's just my take on that. But I appreciate you guys, whoever you are, chiming in with me. I hadn't seen any comments today. I don't know if I set it up right. I put the poll question out there. I don't know if that's out there either. I can't see it. But whoever's out there, appreciate you chiming in. And unless there's some breaking news today, I'll be back at you in the morning. We'll talk a little bit of NBA playoffs and leading up to the draft that's going to take place tomorrow night, the first round anyway. So wherever you are in the world, have a great day. Until next time, it's been Sports for Real. I got to go to work. So I'm out.